not the first pop guy to receive his degree, but he is the first one to live in the pop house
Right.
and have an environment that was peaceful enough
Right.
to do the rigors of the homework and graduate with
There you go.
honors.
Yep.
And
Yes.
so we just want to lift that thing up to the highest.
Yeah.
So,
So it can be done.
so
That's right.
now what we're also suggesting to our guests is that education, higher education, is still the way out. Hey son, what's going on? It's still the way out.
Right.
Say the way out.
The way out.
And so now we got a different leadership quadrant that maybe sees education in a different way.
Right.
And I know that the governor's wife is on board with this whole notion of education. So we want to demonstrate, our pop guys we already at this.
Right.
But we're also advocating for those who remain locked up that don't have the opportunity to pursue their degrees and achieve their goals.
Right.
And so if we're able to pull this thing off nicely, it serves both purposes.
Right.
But that's what's happening next week. Hey, son.
Okay.
That's Eugene right there. That's one thing that's happening. The second thing that's happening is we have one of our students in Rush City, European boy, Daniel Drill Millen. Eugene, you know Dan. Dan's father sought us out. Came down here, to the office and said, man, I gotta meet you. Because whatever you doing, you know Daniel, whatever you doing, it's done changed my son. He's alive.
There you go.
Praise God.
And so I'm gonna have him as a speaker, just talk about what is happening with POP and his son. Then the third thing, I'm gonna be presenting something what I think is a long-term plan for responding to the cradle to the prison pipeline. Cradle to the prison pipeline. We call it the highway of hope. Say that with me, the highway of hope.
Highway of hope.
I just want you to think about what you just said. The highway of hope. Say the highway of hope.
The highway of hope.
Just think about it for me. So it says a man will live a short time in the desert with no water, but he will live no time in the desert with no hope.
Right.
Amen. And so what we want to do is we want to create that highway, that hope highway, as an antithesis to what's currently being created. I'm going to share it with you now for 2 seconds. I'm not going to go to the long version, but I don't want you to hear it first next week. So on the bottom of the board, if you look at the board there, did you got it, brother?
Yeah.
Where you at? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so on the bottom of this, yeah. On the bottom of this is just a cradle to the prison pipeline. You already know about that. We already been a part of that, right? And so we understand that thing is in play. Get it? Re-entry fundamentally is a failed American experiment, right? Because one of the reasons why it's failed is because it's hopeless. The people who provide the services don't have hope for you, and then therefore you end up not having hope for yourself. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
Okay, but the highway of hope looks at, watch this carefully, looks at the 5 poorest neighborhoods in Minneapolis as a pilot. Pilot is when you're experimenting with something. The 5 poorest neighborhoods in Minneapolis, poorest means economically challenged, not intrinsically, right? 55411, 55412, 55409, 08, and 07 are the 5 poorest economic neighborhoods in Minneapolis. These neighborhoods make up the bulk of the prison population in the state of Minnesota. I'm just going to wait for all the amens.
Right. Wow.
And,
All right.
and one of the reasons why, watch this carefully, one of the reasons why it makes up so much of the prison population is because the people who come out of here, by the time they hit high school, have already lost. Oh. Say it louder than that. Oh. Say it louder than that. Oh. Now watch this. Now we know how to make hopelessness look slick. Right? We can put some music on it. You know, we can put some wheels on it. You know, we can get dressed up about it and pop that thing, but we're really hiding the fact that we really feel hopeless.
Right.
And to the extent that we're feeling hopeless, we're really back on that cradle to the prison pipeline. And so what we're trying to do, watch this, and this is our response. Out of those 5 neighborhoods, we want to identify the preschools that serve those neighborhoods. Head Start, of course, is the major one. But then 2 preschools beside Head Start in 1, 2 in each one. And what we want to do is identify the boys, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, but we are identifying the boys who seen the struggle in preschool. And so what we understand is, how do we interface, watch this, with the families of those boys? Because at that age, it's not the child who's failing, it's the parent. I don't want to hear nobody. I don't want to hear nobody. I don't want to hear. And see, then when you see that I'm going on too long, I don't want to go on too long. I don't want to get all jacked up here. Lord. I'm going to do it next week, and then I'll go into the full thing. But I want you to see, if we identify those boys before they move toward elementary school, now we're in prevention mode. When I caught y'all, it was in prison. That's intervention. Say intervention. Intervention. So then we identify the elementary schools, the feeder high schools. We pull in the judicial system, both juvenile and adult. We pull in college and trade schools. We pull in employment and extended school. Yeah, extended school. That's like going on further. And so we pull all those guys, all this into one room at one time. Thank you, Dougie. Give Doug a hand for all of that. All right. Soldier. So watch this carefully. Look, this is the way out. If somebody would have gave it to you, you wouldn't be sitting where you sit right now. So what we're trying to do is now, after what we call acquired learning, we've been at this a long time. So we have acquired a modicum of learning that may be able to relieve some of the pressure. Right. So watch this. So we end up creating this holistic plan that needs to employ organizations and individuals at each one of these levels. Some of these are beyond. Because to the extent, especially in the elementary schools, to the extent that they start seeing men on the move, men who are accomplishing things, men who are doing things. You know, somebody told me the other day in the Patrick Henry High School, the boys was in the bathroom smoking weed and got their pistols in the bathroom. And the police are right there. They know nobody won't do nothing. And you know, it really isn't the police's responsibility. I'm just saying to myself, if that's your son, and you know that boy got a pistol, you know he's getting high. But then you don't want to give him to the police, and I get that part. But then we had to create somebody for you to give him to. Right. This is the antithesis. This is our alternative to the cradle. Is that making sense?
Yes.
We're going to present that, but I'm going to have it laid out real deeply. We're going to present that as a fundamental initiative that we're calling the Highway of Hope, or Vision 2027. Say Vision 2027. 2027. What's important about Vision 2027 is we can't get instantaneous results. We have to get after this and stay after it for a while. If we're able to do that, by 2027, we will have turned around what the boys are doing from the 5 poorest neighborhoods in this community. I don't hear nobody saying that. Thank you. That we'll present that next week, and then it'll be a little bit more sophisticated. And then we're going to open it up, y'all. Excuse me. Then we're going to open it up and let you respond. And my sister, I'm going to have you to be there next week, because I'm gonna have you to share. You gotta share quickly just a little bit about your son. And see, I just wanna put that on their mind to go back with. Here's something you can look at. Get it? Okay, so there we go. That's kind of what's gonna happen, but what we wanna do is be muscled up in here, so make sure you get the word out that we got all our hands on deck for next week, and this and that, and I think you'll be, Tier and Wayne are helping me work on Vision 2027. Don't that sound good?
It does.
See, because nobody's coming up with this, you know, what's from Jigger, you know?
Right.
Hey, this is Robert Thomas. Give him a big hand. He just got home. Robert Thomas just got out of Rush City, and he said he was coming, you know what I mean. But there he is, right there, in the flesh. Right. He's out of Damascus Way, and he done already hooked up with Pierre and them, and you know, his job is gonna be on the way. Matter of fact, we might try to get him over there with you. Come on with it. But watch this. So now we're gonna go to, yes sir.
Announcements before I get
Go ahead.
I had a couple announcements. During some of the community events, I also have a guest here tonight. So you know some of the guys in here.
So just introduce your guest here.
That's Miss Yolanda.
Hi Yolanda. Give her a hand.
That big box of Great Value forks and spoons came from her birthday party.
All right.
So there's a couple of things going on in the community. One, somebody was passing around a sheet, you know, signing a letter to the commissioner to end technical violations. It's an IWAC piece. Ms. Yolanda represents one of the groups in IWAC as well. Also, June 22nd, Richard McElmore put together some stuff, and it's in response to that lady who came for the plate production.
Yeah.
They want to do. We're having a sit-down meeting, and all's invited to input and whatever. We're going to have that at MTN, the TV station, on June 22nd at 1 p.m. A Saturday.
Okay.
And then on top of that, whether we do it at MTN, whether we do it here, whether we go off-site to another location, I want to do short stories, individual short stories with people. And basically, the story could be, how has pop impacted your life? So what I want to do is get a video journal of that. We've collected, as of now, we've collected over a year, probably 14 months now of video footage of all the POP programs and meetings. But I want to do some individual stories. And then the goal to broaden that, go bigger than that, is to have like, you know, group discussions, panel discussions like we have been doing. We do it a lot, right now we do it as a coalition with ACLU and some other organizations. But if we could host our own panel discussion, and maybe get some of those organizations and people from the community to sit down, say we film this once a month or something at MTN, and get community involvement in there. That way people know in the community versus just what they hear on the news. I think that's, oh, nope, no, that's not it. Ms. Jo Erickson showed up last night to the media meeting. And a couple announcements from the media side. Some of our pop guys are involved with some shows that are coming out. I'll get a definitive date. Mr. Phillip is going to be in one of those. Chris Burke is going to be in one. It's going to be featured on NPN or NPR, National Public Radio. Phil's, I think, is going to be on Minnesota Public Radio. And then Tears is getting filmed on the 22nd. And it's going to air live on the 20. It's going to air on the 23rd.
Oh, that's a lot. Give them some love. So, some of those things are like a month and a half out, and we're gonna talk about them again. But we're just giving you a little heads up about what time that is. Tia, you got something too?
Oh man, I got a lot.
Okay, so you change Wayne, you change with Tia then.
First of all, by show of hands, how many people in here are looking for employment?
Oh, you gotta be clear, son.
Any employment, better employment?
Better.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. You're looking for better employment, or you don't have a job, either one, put your hand up.
Well, I got the Montreal from the PR we call the treatment place, and they want me to do a Rule 25 tomorrow, so I believe I don't know if I can work and do treatment at the same time. But the way he said, I'll be going from 8 to 4 in the evening. And they teach forklift, they teach how to drive forklift, so I don't know what he did, but he said it's a good one. They teach you anger management treatment at the same time, and from 4 to 7, they teach you about driving forklift and help you get it out. So, because they just called the message way yesterday, and they wanted 3 guys at this place in Golden Valley tomorrow, and they starting off at $15, and they need help. I can't even get that job because I got.
Hold up. You all right? You all right? You all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and how many people are in here looking for housing resources? Maybe even just like the transition out of a halfway house, or you know, just okay.
One.
Anybody? Okay. Because we came up on some new housing resources, coordinated entry services. Just I'm gonna be leaving to take him back at about 7:45. But I'll meet with you guys a little bit more in depth about it, and we'll go over it, man.
And then what we do, Tia, from now on, when you make an announcement like that, we'll shoot a sign-in sheet of who wants it and give their number, so that way you got them right then and there.
Yeah, that's what I do.
We'll give Tia some love now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's important about that. Because see, now what these guys are just working on employment for pop guys. Yeah, right? And so all you gotta do is come to the meeting and want it. That's right. Right. I'll wait for all the amens. It took me 14 years to do that, so. Yeah. Go ahead, son.
Also, what Wayne failed to mention is, what we're doing is we're compiling a list of people that have been technically violated. What we're gonna do is, we got a petition going around, and what we're gonna do with that is, we're gonna reach out to Liz earlier. She said she'd do a story on it. So we want the public to know and see, make this thing a little bit more transparent. We want them to see all of these technical violations that have been going on, and then have a cost analysis sheet next to it, showing the waste, you know, and that it really is not making the streets any safer.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do right now.
And so so as individuals, we should sign if you've been violated, you know, for any reason, you know, that means you sent to prison without having committed a new crime. That's what we're talking about. We should sign that list. And so, you know, that's the next few weeks, we'll be signing that every week, the next few weeks. Philip, I like what you're doing, man, and that's powerful, bro. And, so we want to go to the acts of faith. Eugene, are you working yes or no? No. Why do you keep, this man is trying to get you a job and you keep on, I work today. So then the answer is yes, you're working. No. Tier's trying to get you a job and you keep on blowing them up.
Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, man, what's happening?
I think I'm good.
Pretty good.
Oh, we did have an appetite.
Graduated today.
I didn't even look for him. I didn't check.
I didn't know I was gonna graduate today.
I didn't see him.
Okay, so let's go to the acts of faith here, please.
I got it. May 14th, the ego needs recognition. The spirit does not need to thank itself. The ego wants to be noticed. It needs stroking, pumping up, and limelight. The ego needs to compete just to prove it is better.
Wow.
It senses danger around every corner, difficulty in every challenge, and trouble coming through everyone. The ego can never be enough, do enough, or have enough.
Wow.
The goal of the ego is to be well-liked and authorized because, for some reason, it does not feel qualified. The spirit is qualified by light, the light of truth, peace, joy, and love. It does not seek to condemn, condone, or compromise what it is. It simply knows and is it. The spirit does what it can and moves on to something else. It does not ask for an award or wait for rewards. It is just the spirit being spirit. One of the difficult problems in the world is the competition of egos. They want to be noticed and applauded so they can compete and dominate.
Wow.
When we truly understand that we are spiritual beings, we can no longer have the need for recognition. We will do what we can because we can do it by virtue of the light of spirit.
Wow.
Today I will go unnoticed. Acts of faith.
That's good. Now, that's so good, man. That's so good. Anybody want to mess with that in the midst of them breaking up all them chicken wings? Go ahead.
I took that as a metaphor. So I like to do metaphors. An ego and a condor are supposed to be the strongest two birds. And relating to us, a lot of times we think we're so strong, we don't want to allow others to help us. So we fall because we allow our ego to get in the way. And whenever you can ask for help or trust somebody to help you that's close to you, then you need to really look at yourself, because everybody ain't out to get you. You have people that love you, but you reject them. They going out of their way to try to show you that they love you, and you keep rejecting them. I did that before I even came to prison. My mom had died, and people reached out. They did everything they could to try to reach me and let me know that they were there for me. Because I wanted to show that I could do it by myself. I pushed everybody else to the side. And I ended up digging a hole that I dug. And ended up doing that for 8 years because I allowed ego to get into it.
I got something, Pop.
Go ahead, man.
My ego led into my criminality, and so my ego grew strong as my criminality grew with it, and that's all I knew for 35 years. And it became so powerful that I ended up victimizing and selling drugs and committing burglaries and just doing things that my ego led me to. And that's all I knew. And then I learned to be humble and show humility. And that takes work for me today because of my ego, because the ego and the criminality were with each other like a yoke. They were in harmony with each other. They were in sequence. So today I have to learn not to allow my ego overpower me and lead me into my criminality. So working with other peers and asking for support of my brothers. I mean, the other day I talked to Philip every day, and he's like one of my main supports. So is Wayne, and it controls my ego.
Wow. Man, that's great, man. Hey, Rick. Man, you know what? That was so powerful and so honest. You know, that kind of honesty is, it's hard to get that authenticness that you really need in some ways. We search for it. Searching for the real you. You get it? Not always the one that you're showing us. Sometimes it's this other one way back. You know what I mean? And so when sometimes you hear something from somebody and you know it was the real them, and the word has it shoots like a fiery dart, because you know that you just heard the truth. And whenever you hear it, you know how like a dart, arrow, when it hits its targets, it'll shoot out a vibration at the end. Well, when the truth hits its mark, the vibration, it sends itself out. Then you just like, what was that? It'll cause you to stop what you were doing, what you were saying, and reflect or listen, contemplate, because that vibe has mysteriously been introduced into the atmosphere. That's kind of what that was. You know, and I just want to throw something in to that, and you know, sometimes when individuals have, you know, family, this and that, you get spoiled. You know, a lot of times, you know, you got too much of everything, just give it to you, and you just spoil. And it seems like what you have is one thing, except for the people who operate in the land of lack make what little they have seem so slick. Well, I wish you could hear me. I wish you could hear me because, you know, I'm just in a mood. But I'm going to tell you something. See, those people who come from the land of lack, they know how to dress everything. They know how to pop. Everything is popping. And so even those individuals who come from of having things will surrender the things they have for the pop. I don't hear you. Watch this. And when they surrender those things that they have, the ego is from privilege. The being privileged. And now you put some rocks on it and some alcohol on it, and you still think you're privileged. Now here you got some, I'm teaching good tonight though, but now here you got somebody who is privileged and egotistical enough to present his privilege to you in the mask of alcohol, drugs, and all these other things because he believes it's popular.
Entitlement.
Wait a minute. Ooh. Y'all don't hear the arrow? So here we go. Then how do you come back from that? You get it? And I'm gonna just share something with you, son. The difference in the you who just said that and the you who was operating in that way is your inability to listen. This is what you said. You said what he said, but two different ways. He came from the one place, you came from the other, but neither one of y'all could listen. You couldn't listen. Do you remember somebody said, "Stop it, boy, you so hard."
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know they was talking about you. And one thing about you, you're a good man, you're a nice person, but you don't know how to listen. And if you would just listen, it could be easy for you. Hey, son. Give one says a hand. It's so late. If you could just listen. Let somebody else struggle. Let the drama go by you. Do y'all remember the song by the Floaters? It's an old song. You don't know. Huh? What?
Float on.
Floaters? Yes. Sing it. Float on. Float on. Oh, wait a minute. Say float on. Woo! Wait a minute, y'all don't know nothing about this. We doing? We popping up in here. Now watch. But see, look, if you can sing the song, but not get the message.
There you go. You better listen. That's what it says.
Wait a minute. You sounded good too, son. What's it? But if you can't let some of this stuff float by you, you feel like you're missing something. You're not the center of attraction, which your ego would demand that you are. You're in the middle of every argument, every discussion, somebody's got to hear you. You know what? No, they don't. You know, if silence was golden, there's some people in here that couldn't get a quarter. Is that right or wrong?
That is absolutely right.
Sometimes you just have to.
Hold on.
I'm just trying to love on you a little bit. Give him a little hand for taking that. Okay, now, what did you get out of that?
What I get out of this?
No, what I just said.
Oh, what you just said? That I need to zip this and listen to use these and use these. Because God gave me 2 of these and 2 of these and 1 of these for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I get it. You know, on something else, I was telling my daughter that question you asked me the first night I was here, but if I left something, you know, she caught it right.
If he left
something in prison, right. And, you know, and I told my daughter about that, she's like, what, did you leave something? I'm like, no, I didn't leave nothing there. Well, why the H you keep going back? She said, you know. I'm like, dang, okay, all right, I get it. And I was like, yeah, I said, I'm the reason that you have little faith because I keep going back. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, at least you can own that.
Wow,
you know?
That was a great discussion.
Yeah, that was my daughter. It was just earlier today when I went for my ride at work. You know, yeah.
And you listened to it. That's good, sir. Thank you for sharing that. I tell you what, we're going to interject something else. Because Robert Thomas is just brand new. He needs to get some things out. You know what I mean? This and that. And he just, I don't know how long he's been home, maybe 2 or 3 days or something like that.
About 30-some hours.
30-some hours. So Robert, just pause that for a minute and just tell our people a little bit about you and where you're at, what you're trying to do, and what you want to do, everything.
My name is Robert Thomas. I'm from Mississippi. I've been up here in Minneapolis. It'll be 11 years come June. And I always had them old big dreams of, you know, like a lot of people, that dope game, the streets. And I'm so caught up in it, well, not now, but I've been so addicted and caught up in it till I keep saying to myself, I'm going to get it one day. I'm going to get them bricks. I'm going to get thousands and all that. But I keep losing out and keep going to prison because of the streets and the drugs. Never had a dope charge, but by me dwelling in the negativity in the negative areas, I get into negative situations that lead me to prison, and I keep saying to myself, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. But by me losing so much family members and losing out, and practically about to lose my son to weed because his father not there to try to guide him, I just woke up and said, you know, I got to find a way to leave the streets alone.
That's right.
And to tell you the truth, I don't know no way, but I just kept saying to myself, I got to keep finding some kind of solution. So I was telling my mom, if I can get a full-time and part-time job that'll break my back end and practically kill me, I won't have time for the streets. Right. So I told my mom, I said, you know, like I told my lawyer, I could have beat my charge. I could have beat it. I was just telling Tia, I could have really beat my charge. My victim didn't come to court, plus all the evidence and stuff will point at you, the instigator. But I told my lawyer, I said, man, I got enough money on my books to buy another 8-ball crackle a quarter. And I said, right now, my mind is still on hustling and getting high. I ain't broke completely free from it. I ain't found no solution. So I said, we beat the charges, I'm finna go. I know people that got that dope, and I'm gonna go get it. And I'm gonna be back from Lake, Chicago, and Franklin, and the Grand bus station. I know what the area is at. I've been doing it since I've been up here, so he was looking at me like, you know, we can win this. And I'm telling him, yeah, but what if I go out there and get that dope? This time I just dodged 29 years. Went out for 82 days, I did 39 months. Got out out for 82 days and practically almost killed the white boy because he started using the word nigger.
Yeah, we don't cuss here, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and I got no chance. So if I get out there with the dope game again, I said I might not be so lucky. I said this time I might lose out big. I might come back with a life sentence. So I say it ain't gonna hurt me to sit these other 16 months. I got 6 in. You said I got 9 months and 21 days if I take the plea from the prosecutor. I said I need to go ahead and reevaluate myself because I jumped out here, head go lucky like a chicken with a head cut off, and was just parlaying because I was glad to be free. $3,000 in my pocket when I leave prison, so I'm like, yeah, you straight. and messed all that up and lost all my gear, everything I bought. Lost more family members, couldn't go to the funeral, so I'm saying to myself, we got to find some kind of way, because my mama told me, I'm finna cut you off. Your sister and brothers didn't cut you off. You keep asking them for money, but you wonder why they ain't sending it. You the oldest, and you know better. So,
You're right.
so,
Come on, Chris, sit down.
so I was talking to a couple guys.
Wait, they got pause a minute, got pause, that's a lot. Let's just give them a little hand. You know, I'll be thinking sometimes, I feel like sometimes I heard everything, and then all of a sudden I hear something I never heard before. I mean, just quite like he said it. You get what I mean? I ain't never heard somebody say I could beat this case, but I took it anyway, so I could escape the other side. What I did here that I want to tell Travis is his thinking that somehow you could put a job in there and that replaces something, you know. And I'm telling you, that's false. Yes. You have to decide. Say decide.
Decide.
Yeah. The job is not a decider. You are. Do you understand that? Yeah. And so I want a few people to go around. This is Chris Burke right here.
Chris Burke!
We ain't seen Chris in a month of Sundays. He's been calling me. I was out of town, but here he is looking all clean shaven and everything, and all clean. Somebody done gave my haircut and everything. But Robert here, he put something heavy on the table, and I want us to go around and give Robert some feedback, though, just from what he said right there. Go ahead, anybody.
Can I jump in?
Go, please.
Robert, you go by Rob, bro? What you go by?
Mississippi.
No, we don't do that. No,
Okay.
that's back door thinking. Right? We don't have it.
Robert, for Robert? Okay. You know, Robert, what I heard, man, you know, I was sitting over here just kind of taking it in, and you know, you said something. You said, I want that bag. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a necessarily bad thing to want to be successful. I think it's the route you go, where you already said it, where you hang, and what you put your mind to, that could kind of get you in, well, not kind of, will continue to get you in trouble, bro. You know, so I don't think you should feel bad that you want a good life. We all want the good life.
Yeah.
I just think you got to really look at the route you're taking, the streets you're going down to get there. You know what I mean?
That's excellent. Give him some depth. That's excellent. Anybody else?
I don't know you, Robert, but I do know this. I know the lifestyle. I know the addiction. You gotta look at, man, in the life, you playing craps. You don't never think you're gonna roll boxcars or snake eyes, but they show up. That license that you was talking about, it's real. Are you willing to take a chance on 99 years ain't no joke? Because if you get 99 years now, it's not like it was when I did mine. I did 38, it's just by the grace of God. I'm here. And because of my crime that I committed, they still don't want me out here. And I'm not giving them a reason or a call. You got another chance. You can't take your chance for granted, because you may not get another one. So I mean, really look at yourself in that mirror and really ask yourself, what is it that I really want? What is it that I'm really ready to sacrifice? And what cause am I sacrificing for?
That was powerful. Go ahead.
Wow, I remember from way back, but I mean, you just said something that we all heard. It was a silent cry. And the silent cry was, you told that man, look, I'm just gonna cop out for that. I was real, I could have beat it, but I needed a peace of mind. That's what you needed. Here it is again. Come on now. Mama, here you go, mama. You lost this. You lost this. It's a chess piece game. And you playing it. And you the one. You see what I'm saying? So here it is, mama telling you this. I'm finna let you go, because everybody else let you go. You think on that.
That's good.
Serious.
That's good.
You know, Rob, you really should know the rules about any game that you're playing. You know, and then you'll find out that maybe you don't want to play it. What you playing is a murder game. See, wherever there's drugs, is murder. Power, period. Okay, that game was not designed for you to win. It was designed for you to play. The only winners of that game is the police. All right? And they'll encourage you to play. They just ain't gonna let you win. You wind up dead or in jail. You know, everything else you got, the Internal Revenue will come take your house, car money, and everything else. So all that was for nothing. You could have took that same time and worked a minimum wage job and had good credit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bought a house and everything else and didn't have to look over your back.
Right, right.
You know? Now when you pick up a bag, I don't care what kind of bag it is,
Yes,
you
sir.
inherit two enemies come with the bag.
Come on.
The police and the stick-up man.
Wow.
They come with the bag.
Come on, Doc. Come on, Doc.
So, and you hope one of them gonna get you. One of them gonna get you, and you hope it's the police.
Wait, the doctors in the house. I didn't know Dr. Harris was down here tonight. Give him a little something.
That cost me 30 years of my life. You know?
It cost me 23 years, 8 months.
Yeah, so you got a chance to step out of this and keep going. That was the God telling you, man, I'm giving you another chance. Like the brother said, you might not get another one. You know? So I'm saying, so take this here as a gift, a real gift. And thank God you still got your life. You know? You got too many enemies out there, man, that you don't know nothing about. You looking at all the glory, but there's some pain waiting on you, mister. Yeah.
That's good.
Grievous.
Go ahead, son.
This directly speaks to the ego. It's so I'm piggyback off something that everybody said. You're right, this is the chess game. Only you're a pawn. You were driven by ego. And because you're driven by ego, that pawn could be moved in any direction that the powers that be wanted it to be. It was driven. All they had to do was just convince you that you can have it all. And your ego stroked you and told you can have it all. And you had them dope man dreams and everything. Big Meech was a pawn. Lukey Stokes was a pawn.
Say that.
Jones was a pawn. All of these guys were pawns. But they had nothing. Not a right.
Yes.
I was a pawn. We were all pawns. Because our egos swayed us left and right, just like the wind.
Been there. Been there.
Y'all hear that? Hey, sir, I forgot that we're gonna graduate Ananiah too next week, along with Malik, because he just graduated from his engineering training. Bring your stuff, and that's beautiful. That feedback is beautiful. Robert Thomas, what you got? Anything? Did you learn anything? You hear anything?
A whole lot, especially practice from every one of them. But yeah, my brother right here, we just had that same exact message. It was about 4. We were sitting there, and we were just talking about everybody meeting all these so-called I got that weight in prison. Holler at me when you get out. I got it. I got the plug. And when you said the police and the sticker boys, I'm telling them, I said, man, I ain't got no clique up here. I ain't got nobody to bag me up. I ain't got nobody to come save me, rescue me. I'm like, I get out there and getting that money. I said, man, one or two things gonna happen. I said, either the folks gonna know I'm getting money and they gonna show, or them boys gonna know and they gonna come get me. I said, man, I don't know why I'm still stuck on wanting to sell dope. I said, but man, I know something bad finna happen. I said, but I got to find some way to get some money. So I've been trying to say, okay, truck driving, you can make a nice little piece of change at that. But they gonna, take your time. See, all my life I've been impatient. I never want to wait on nothing. I want it right there. Instant gratitude until I've been like that all my life. And my mama, my aunties, and everybody told me, slow your roll. If you take your time and do right, you can have everything. But you want a speedball.
Yeah.
And I've been a speedballing person all my life.
Now, watch this. I'm gonna jump in on it because now you're on ISI, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell you something. Just like you were saying before, it dawns on me. Every now and then, ISR works on your behalf.
They do.
Amen. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Just listen. Every now and then.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Cause it'll let something float by. Somebody say, float on, float on, float on, float on. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta just go on and work with ISI and let it float by you.
Right.
You don't understand. Even now I can hear it in his heart.
Right.
This ship, he's talking about it sailed and been gone. And you don't even know it. You know, you still, when you're on the ship of fools, they still talking about yesterday. You get what I mean? And everybody don't realize, you understand what I'm saying? That ship has sailed a long time ago. Yeah. I ain't gonna stay up with you too long. But I just want to probably just say a little bit about himself so you can hear who he is. You know, you're already connected with Tierra. He can help you after you go through the process of what your agent is talking about. Give yourself time to be successful on ISI. It's not easy. You have to follow a lot of rules. You have to be obedient to a lot of rules. They'll send you back. Who you got for agent?
Tom Haiti.
Yeah, he's a rough customer.
Yeah, he already told me, he said, you ain't gonna like me.
That's true.
He said, it's gonna be time when you gonna fight me and kick me in my behind and all that.
No,
He said, but I'm gonna do it for a reason. He said, I want you to go forward and I want you to stay positive.
I wish I could believe what Tom said. I'll tell you what, he at least attempted to give you warning of what he was gonna do, because he ain't nothing nice.
Yeah.
Where's Wayne at? That was Wayne's guy. We had to up here. He tried to beat Wayne down, and then, I had to argue with him up in the street.
Right.
Yeah, I could go further with that discussion, but I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm just gonna tell you this though. But for right now, let it be so. Just whatever they say, do it. Be where you say you're gonna be. Say, be where I say I'm gonna be.
Be where I say I'm gonna be.
Say, be where I say I'm gonna be.
Be where I say I'm gonna be.
So then for the technical violators, they just float on by you. Just take your time and do what you got to do. What did you send the money post to?
It's done.
It's Doug's money. That was my money. Send me some 20s. No, anyway, give Robert a big hand. Just receiving some of that love, you know what I mean? And we just trying to help you, man. And you're gonna find that there's no place like this. You're gonna find it, if you just keep coming and just stick to it, it's gonna work out for you. And nobody in here, all of us were impatient. We all wanted it right away. That's not a new phenomenon, And then something came up where everybody in here had to say, oh, huh? So But I'm glad that, when he kept his word, he said he was coming right away. As a matter of fact, before he left the last class, I fired on Robert, telling him just what y'all just got through saying. If you mess around, you ain't got but one more lick to hit. You better get it on the good foot this time.
Yeah, I ain't in the rush for nothing. I just want a halfway decent life. Right now, I'm tired. I'm hurting. My diabetes will kick back in. My family passing away like crazy in Mississippi. I just want to live a decent life.
Give my hand, you want to live. Yeah, that is powerful. Who else got something on this reading? Oh, here, my man is never in group. He always got an excuse why he's not here. He was doing this and he was doing that. But he's a good hearted brother. You mean well. But brother, why don't you just check in, let us know how you doing and what's going on with you, and are you all right?
Yeah, well, first,
Say your name.
my name is Gerald Hollis. It's like my fourth or third meeting here. Right now, I'm in the process. I just got my first schedule for school set up today. I got my schedule on my phone. I got my fall schedule set up. I got my treatment set up, that outpatient at Turning Point. I just came from there. I'm getting the like a verification piece of paper from the place so I can show that I'm going, doing all that. Still working. In the
Where you working
process.
at?
Second Chance Emerge.
Oh, that's right, you back on your mind.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that sounded good, all what you just said.
Yeah, it sounds good, but it's a hard process. Right now, I'm going through.
Are you sober?
Yes, I haven't had anything for a while.
All right.
How long is a while?
I remember that date it was when we had that conversation.
No, you've been high since that time. I'm just telling you now. Just be honest in here, because we're not the police.
Right,
This ain't the
right.
police in here.
Right.
And nobody in here gonna send you to jail.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna ask you one more time. When was the last time you was getting out? Tell the truth.
Let me see. That's the date. It's been about a week and a half.
Okay, so now that's more like the truth. Let's give him a little hand.
Give it up.
Don't that feel better? Just tell him to just be
Yes, it
honest, man. Because, you know, you don't have to, we're trying to be on your side. It's hard to be on your side if you thinking you being slick. That's that criminal mentality. You think you gotta slick everybody. You know how you gonna slick the slicker? The slicker. Looking at me, I'm thinking, man, come on.
It's good to see you, Gerald.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
We
say.
know
Bobby.
you down here on this
I mean,
end.
Gerald, how
Yeah,
you
we
doing,
do,
bro?
yeah.
I mean, I didn't even recognize you when I walked in, bro. It's
I
nice
just
seeing
seen
you. Yeah.
Physically, I'm doing good. Mentally, so-so. But overall, long as I keep focused and I got a good person that snaps me back a lot, and that's Mr. Shane right here, and I'm getting there. It's not an easy process. But I'm getting
You know what? Somebody who knows how to look. If somebody who's a barber, if you would take Gerald and then like edge him up,
I
fade,
just
wait,
took it off.
fade him, clip all this and make it look real neat. It would make him look too presentable
Yes.
to use.
Yeah.
You can look in the mirror and see this other guy, not that guy. Just straggly. Just don't be. I'm saying. You know what I mean? Come on. You know, but you fight back against it. Fight back against it. Poverty, and what poverty is you know, I don't really, you know, every day you get up, dress for yourself, get shot for yourself, clean up for yourself, groom it, comb that stuff, get yourself, comb it for yourself.
Yes.
You don't be waiting around on somebody, you know what you're drinking. You might get picked, you know, if you mess with
Hey.
I don't hear anybody in
Yeah,
here.
that's right.
You know what? That's what I want to tell everybody in here, which are all your proclivities, if you mess around and wait a minute, somebody that likes what you like is going to find you, but you just got to be patient. Say be patient.
Be patient. That's right.
I just want you to think about it.
That's right.
You gotta rush nothing. It's all coming. It's everything is in the mix for you.
I want them cookies, Gerald.
Be like me.
That's a private joke, I guess. Right? What I need to do, what I want to do though is, I just want to show you something about what Robert Thomas was saying. What I was saying to you earlier about the 5 poorest neighborhoods in Minneapolis. Now, and there go the zip codes of them right there. But if we just took, you know, any state, and put those same zip codes up there, the attitude that he just talked about would exist. Because that is what poverty creates. Listen to me carefully when I say this. A loser mentality. And you don't describe it. It seems like you ought to be able to hit your licks. It seems like it, but it never works out. But look how he downplayed, and I'm just telling you what I heard. He said, I'm just giving me a little old job and have a so-so good life. Man, you can have a great life with a job. I don't hear nobody in church.
Especially driving a truck. That's a good job.
Can you drive a truck? Okay. You got a driver's
Not the
license?
18-wheeler.
You got a driver's license?
Never had a license in my life.
Okay, well, we gotta work on that. Anybody in here, oh, speaker, so, somebody got their permit today. Look, it's so important, it's so important
Yeah.
that you get a $50 blessing. You get a $50 gapper. You know, because he went over there and took care of his business. Give him a big hand. What's important about that is that, listen, the number one way for you to go to jail or prison is a traffic stop or failed domestic relationship. Failed domestic relationship is internal, and a traffic stop is external. So you have an encounter with the police that you can't pass through. You can't give them credible information and move on. Your information is faulty, and that, you know, creates a cycle of things that leads you into jail or bail you can't pay. Now you got a charge you plead out to, etc. And so it's incumbent upon us here at POP to honor this here, you know, which seems like such a small thing, but man, it's so powerful. Now you got that, but you know, your permit is one thing, but you need that license. The permit gets you a valid, you got a valid ID you can show people. In this world we live in, having a valid ID, Chris Burke, is critical. But watch this carefully now. If you're driving or thinking about driving, get that valid driver's license. So when you have a traffic stop, and you're going to have one, Phil, is that right or wrong?
Yeah.
You're going to have a traffic stop, and when you have one, you have to have a valid license, so that puts you past. If you could have a tail light, it's out. If you got a driver's license, you're going to leave away from there with a ticket and please fix this, don't let me see you no more. But slow down. If you can't pass that check, you get it? Don't pass go. Somebody else come in.
One of the things that that I do have, I do have a valid driver's license.
Okay.
Working on getting my CDL through my new job.
What's the new job, Chris?
Wholesale produce.
Give him a hand. What you delivering?
I'm working with produce, like fruit, vegetables, stuff like that. I'm actually working on getting to be a truck driver, which is union.
Wow, listen to Chris Burke.
That'd be good. In the last 2 weeks that I worked there, I pulled in 87 hours.
Wow.
My off days are Sundays and Tuesdays, so.
Man, 87 hours, come on, man.
Driving to work, got valid insurance, valid license, just hit phase 3 of ISR. And I got one of the toughest POs that like sending people back. And me and him have a great relationship.
Wow.
Right now, and just loving life as it is.
That's it right there. There you go, right there.
Man, Chris, I don't think I have ever heard you say that in my life, and I never heard you talk like that.
I've been on
a great spirit.
What's that girl's name? Boy?
In my life.
Somebody said float on. Yeah, that's good, Chris. Wow. You know we ain't never heard Chris talk like that. And that's an elevated Chris Burke. That's right. That's the one we was hoping for to come out. So, well, Chris, it would be amazing for you to get this license and, I mean, your CDLs and get a truck driving job. That'd be amazing as a union driver.
Union at the place where I'm working at is between 25 and 30 bucks an hour.
You got a bank account?
Yep. Wells Fargo.
Okay.
All right.
Either way though, Mike, my PO, eventually.
No, your ISR agent.
My ISR agent.
Yeah.
Basically, he said I can take a driving job as long as it's within the Minnesota state lines.
Yes.
So.
Excellent, man. That is excellent. I'm gonna move it around a little bit because Richard is doing some new things. I don't know, kind of give us an update on what's going on with you, Richard, and then anybody else got something? Anybody else? Okay, oh, and Pat. But I go Richard, Pat, Isaac, Marcel.
Okay.
Doug, you got something?
I'm good.
You all right?
I'm good.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Richard, everybody. Last week I talked about starting my own company, and I want to talk about that just real quick. But before I do, man, I know Wayne talked about the upcoming circle we were going to have with the play. And I appreciate the brother bringing it up. But what we did is we made a sign-up sheet. So if anyone's interested, we can start kind of gauging interest. Now it's June 22nd, so we have some time. But the lady coming, she's going to bring a couple of people that are going to write some stuff down and take some notes and just be really involved in this process, because really what's going to happen is what we tell them is going to end up being part of an overall production about incarceration and all facets of it, not just our take, but everybody's take on the incarceration process. So this is a huge production. So Wayne gave me a sign-up sheet, and if anyone's interested in getting over to the Pop Studio on Saturday the 22nd to be a part of this at 1:30, please let me know, because I want to gauge numbers to make sure Leah and her folks oh my God, I just had a brain fart of what agency she works for. It will come to me in a second. But her play production partners or the people doing this play with her can just be prepared for our numbers, okay?
Sure, that's excellent.
It's tough. You know what I mean? I'm going through it right now. Starting your own thing and setting your mind to do something is kind of rough. It's really for me it's different. For me it's different. I'm used to I'm very methodical. You know what I mean? I like having a plan, and I'm the type where I guess I'm like a lawyer in certain aspects where I don't ask questions unless I know the answer. I don't do something unless I know how it's going to turn out. I'm not a big risk taker with my life. You know what I mean? I'm just like the rest of us. I'm on community supervision. I got an agent I'm not necessarily fond of. For some reason, in Ramsey County, every 6 months I get a new agent. Literally every new agent in Ramsey County, for some reason, I get on their caseload. So it's really weird how they're doing me. So it's like every 6 months I'm starting over. Every 6 months I got a new agent. They get to know me, come by my house, UA me, drop by my job. I mean, it's crazy, but it works. It's worked for me. I'm gonna keep going with it. But this business thing, it's tough because I don't know. Just be honest, I don't know what I'm doing with this. The business side. I know the educational side. I know the opportunity I present and what I have to offer. But it's tough out here, So I'm grateful that I'm having opportunities to navigate this. But I really got to figure out what's the next move and stay on top of that. Because for me, if I don't, it raises my stress level to the point where I it start messing with me.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So I'm doing good in the fact that I'm staying the course, and I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But I just got to keep reminding myself of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was so rich. Give him some love. Yeah, I think, this now is a wilderness experience. You arrived at a certain place, and that worked for a while, and you were able to accomplish some things for a while, for a time. But now that time has changed, where, the wilderness is where you go out and create the life you want on your own, by yourself, some big boy stuff. And now you're having that wilderness experience. You have the skills. You're extremely employable, but you're trying to create your own employment. And so this wilderness experience is preparing you for the thing that's already set aside and laid up that you can't see right now. And you need this process to get there. And I think and there could be a variety of places. I actually think the stuff that you're doing as a volunteer and as just a community-minded person are going to end up being the things that get you to this place, right? Rather than retreat from those things and continue to do them. And it's engagement, that active engagement and dialoguing, which makes the wilderness experience a shorter place. For those people who don't know how to ask for help, don't know themselves well enough the way that you do, they stay in the wilderness a longer time. You see what I'm saying? And so it's not easy, but it is a part of the process. Say the process.
The process.
I used to tell you all this in POP in prison, but the process is the product. The process is the product. If you're just looking for the product, but you fail to execute the process, yeah, the product is never for you. That's always for somebody else who has gone through the process. And this is what you're going through now, that process, that pruning process. And it's going to create, it's already created. Absolutely, somewhat. Absolutely. So I'm just proud of you. Go ahead, somebody.
I just, being an entrepreneur, I really relate to what you're saying, and it's that self-doubt for me. That's what and second guessing, like, is this really gonna work? How is this gonna work? And that's an employee mindset, though. You know what I'm saying? And so, I really can relate to that self-doubt and that questioning self of the process, and is this gonna turn out? And I started my company when I was 24, and I owned it for 4 years. I sold it, but at the end of the day, I grew so much and I learned so much about myself going through that process and having that self-talk, and I'm glad that I pushed through with it and didn't give up on self, because I learned a lot about myself through that process. And I don't know a whole lot about the industry that you're in, but I know a lot about who you are as a person.
That's right.
And so and hearing you talk and be vulnerable kind of about your situation, it was relatable to me in that sense. And so I just want to give some encouragement to you, brother, and say that don't give up on you. And I'm not saying you are, but don't let that self-doubt and that discouragement deter you from following your dreams and your passion, Because I know who you are, brother, and you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
And in this journey, and when you take upon and create your own destiny, and step away from the employee mindset, it's scary. Because we're trained to be that mindset. And now you're reversing that and saying, no, I'm creating my own. So I'm giving you all the love and encouragement, brother. So I appreciate
And so just while we're on Trav now, Trav, give us an update on you.
Man, everything's going good. Friday I made it to group.
Good.
Went to Turning Point. I seen a couple of rooms.
Give him a hand for that.
And it's just that related to the topic of operating in my ego for a while. And, I had a really this weekend I had a good weekend. It was Mother's Day. I spent a lot of time with my family.
That's good.
And just letting go of a lot of stuff. Like, I really related to the ego part, like wanting to be recognized and living that lifestyle. There was so much identity that I've had in that. And so it was kind of like when I let that go, I was operating in that realm for a little bit. So
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you talk so much about the job. See, the job doesn't make me. I make the job, but it feels good going to work every day. You know, it does, and I take pride in my work. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of my process right now until other things open up. So yeah, everything's going good at the job, and everything's peaceful at the house, and my mom, and had a good weekend.
Good. So, well, that's good progress. Give it to me. You go, Pat. We ain't seen Pat. I don't know. Pat, we called in about something like that. Bro.
Oh, it didn't come.
That's right. You know, we was hitting so hard, we didn't get him in there. You know what I mean? I know he was thinking we was being disrespectful. I didn't know. Some stuff was happening.
I know it'd be good.
Well, man, what's going on, Pat?
Well, I mean, things have been going okay. I mean, they could have, things can always be better. You know, I had a few tests that, I'm just making sure that I overcome. Speaking of ego is one of a big challenge for me. Had I not remembered that I'm a pop guy, had I not remembered that, I'm a Moorish American, had I not remembered that I'm a husband, and everything else that comes with that, I can truly say thank God I'm not, I didn't make the wrong decision and, be negative. What I learned, from that was tests will always be tests until you pass them, until they don't matter, no more. So, just learning and trying to learn how to be humble. My health, I'm still just, trying to stay focused and do what I need to be doing. Keep working on it, keep being better. Well, I went to, my PO office today and, I got some things in the works that's going on for, those of us that do know, what I'm saying, I'm going through the process of a level reduction. And it's been over 3 years since I've been in any type of trouble.
Absolutely.
And that is like, it's almost surprising to me. I'm gonna be honest, because I haven't been the best decision-making person in the world, and so over 3 years is a stretch. And it's come full circle that things is getting ready to turn around, and especially looking at it from paper. So if it goes well, because it's in the DOC central office, if it goes well, thank God.
Wow.
If it doesn't, and I stay where I'm at, I'm okay with that, because I'll be off parole in less than 2 years anyway.
Come on. Pat, that's beautiful, man. You said that so well. Plus, you just look good. Your face look good. That's good. Good to have you in the house. Your energy in the house. It's never the same without you. The same with everybody. You bring something. This Curtis here. Curtis been missing. I get worried about it. You know what I mean? So, but Curtis is just good to see you sitting there, man. We love you. He's a great brother. You done helped a lot of brothers. A lot of people that's inside yet will speak your name in a high way and say, yeah, Mr. Harris, he showed me this, or he told me that, or he pointed this out. And so people still saying this to me, right? Still telling me this here. I was up in Stillwater, I think I told y'all, I was up in Stillwater with the warden and one of the associate wardens a couple of Fridays ago, so we get ready to start there. Shortly we're going to be up in Stillwater, and some of y'all are going to be able to come with me. Richard and Mr. Harris and some others who have been out for a while. You have to be out 2 years or something like that before you can go back in. But my goal in some way is to utilize our collective intellect and spirit to help release some people from that bondage that you described so well. You get what I mean? And but I mean, I think this is my last 2 years inside. So I need more people to come now and step up and, you know, be trained, allow yourself to be used so we don't drop this ball. You know what I mean? Today, Mencor was here. Some people from Mencor, you know, this and that. You know, Mencor didn't come out of their Energy Park place and say, wait a minute, man, something we got to get Pop involved. Something we got to get with them. Right? It's right here, Samuel. How can we get, help us, dude? Help. But see, look, the wilderness was 15 years.
Right.
Then here they come, yeah. You guys are great. I'm like, man, shit, we've been at this a long time. You know, so this is how, this is how it goes. But I love what Patrick had to say. Franco, you know, we haven't heard from you. We just, since you kind of had a little, what looked like a setback, but now sound like things have turned around and everything, and you know, you're looking great. So give us a little update.
Okay, so speaking about that setback, I did 2 weeks in jail from March 22nd to April 5th, and after that, I'm a sex offender level 1. I'm subject to polygraph tests. I wasn't being honest in my polygraph test, and so that was holding me back. It wasn't only holding me back with my PO, but it was holding me back in other relationships and advancing for myself to be my genuine self, So I just went ahead and owned up to it, everything that I needed to own up to in my hearing, and then they decided that they were going to let me go after that. That was enough accountability time. And so since then, I've been having a lot of advancements. I was on like a 7 o'clock curfew before, and my curfew is 12 now. I get 3 nights to spend out of the week at somebody else's house now. Our relationships are restored with my kids, that's everything's in full effect. My job was kept for me. My personal relationships are better now. And during these times now, I put more time, energy, and effort, which I also call prayer, into being thankful, because it's important for me to remember that when things are going right, that I still need to be humble and step beside myself and give the glory to a greater power, And so I concentrate my time on that, to guide my footsteps, to be in the place I'm supposed to be, to, continue to understand myself. And it's just, I feel, something is blossoming, it's just, starting, it's just, budding or whatever, but I want to keep with that energy, and, failure has been the best teacher for me. One thing that's important for me to recognize, not only for myself, but for Robert, but for other people, is that, when we make one mistake, it doesn't have to turn into 1,000 mistakes, To be able to say, hey, I don't feel good, or this went wrong, I did that wrong, or to come back and apologize and say I'm sorry after that one thing, so it doesn't snowball into 1,000 things. That's what my old life teaches me about my new life. And so when I say failure has been my best teacher, it's because of those instances, the things that I went through, the choices and decisions that I made. I'm just trying to, be genuine to myself first and foremost, and then let that leak to my children, my
Well, speaking of your children,
relationships.
you brought your stepson here, was it last week before last?
Last week.
So give us a little idea of how that was for him.
Oh, so, he felt welcomed. He felt like I told him about, the things that I've been doing in life and how I've been trying to change and become a better person, and how POP was a part of that success, in the thinking and the feelings and being able to express them and wanting more for myself. And so he got the taste of what it was, coming here
And so being able to see what I talk about and to witness it and experience it for himself, you know, that was huge. Not only that, you know, what's strange about that day is like he didn't know he was coming, you know, and he just asked me if I could pick him up from the Mall of America, which is by my work. And on the way here, he said, man, I need to get a new job because where he works, there's a lot of his family members that work there. And sometimes the expectations between work and family get combined.
Sure.
And so when we get here, the guy from Marsden was here, like, hey, we're offering jobs, you know. And then he's been in contact with Tierra as of today, you know, trying to follow up that avenue, take initiative. I had a phone call with him on the way here. I told him how proud of him I was, you know, because of that. You know, he said he's getting involved in his success, you know, and so I'm proud of him for that, you know. And so
let's give him some love, man.
And then the crazy thing about him, you know, we go to the same church, and you know, like I said, our eyes is always open, is always looking. It ain't nothing but the man upstairs. Because I didn't know. I'm like, what they both of them doing at church? You know, we brothers. I was in the back of y'all, and I seen y'all. I was like, New Salem, Reverend McPhee. I said, yeah, okay, they in church.
I brought my ex-wife to church and my son.
Sit down one second. I just want this. I really love this. You know, Isaac, that big old bike you see out there, that big 27.9 inch, that's Isaac's bike. He biked here from the halfway out, and then he got, that's why he got to leave now, because he got a bike back. The bike got lights on it. That big thing right there on the table is a boom box. You could hear him coming a blind ball. Wait a minute, hey, Anna, now he playing all them old school jams, you know what I mean? Yeah, float on, yeah. But I'm really proud of that, man, and that, you know, that, because all that's doing is cleaning up your system, strengthening your body. You know what I mean? And just bringing you that youthfulness, you know what I mean? That, you know, you trying to take back what the cankerworm tried to steal. And what you saying is, give me that back. Give me my health, my active life, my strong body. Give me that back. That belongs to me. That's right. Give that boy some love. Next week, go ahead.
I just want to say this, make sure the sister gets some time. She had a breakthrough last week with me and Nika. Nika's supposed to be coming, I don't know if she's going to make it or not.
Well, then she can have some time right now, but next week you can't ride the bike. Get the bus. We don't need you here, you know, and I want you to leave early. Go ahead, Sid.
Well,
say your name again first.
Okay, my name is Cheryl Bradford, and Nika and Isaac was in the walking to my car, and so I was telling how I felt so blessed to be able to have a voice, and for the people here to have heard me, and I felt so powerful. I felt empowered leaving here last Tuesday, and this has been a long journey, and I just thank God I got a chance to meet you guys.
Curtis, move down to that chair. Move that chair and y'all switch down. Go ahead. Go down. Go down one. Slide down.
Oh, she can have my seat.
Yeah, slide. And now slide over.
Yep. I just want to add to that. I did time with her son way back in 85, 84. I mean 94. And this sister been holding a lot. She is really a strong sister. To have her son away as long as he's been away, and his time has been up. Right. They're just holding him, you know, like a lot of other brothers. And I like to see us, you know, as a group, if there's anything that we can do to aid the sister, and other sisters in the community, for that all sisters in the community that's got sons up there in Moose Lake committed to be a real support system for. If you know somebody in Moose Lake that's done with their time, and been done with their time, 15, 20, 25 years almost now. Right them brothers, be in contact with them brothers, encourage them brothers, because they need us. You know?
So next week though, when you're gonna give her some time with the commissioners and to be able to explain exactly that.
Love y'all.
Put some pressure on, love it, man. Yeah, so,
Say about that, bro.
so you, anything else you wanna share?
And I did want to say,
Son, don't worry about that, don't worry about that. It's really the words mean more than anything, go ahead.
the enemy desired to sift you like wheat. You know, but just keep staying encouraged. You won't be worried.
That's good.
Thank you.
Wow. Queen, what you got?
Well, you know, I just want to tell everybody to stay the course because, you know, life is so like a vapor. It's like a fleeting vapor. You're here today and then you're gone tomorrow. So while you're here, get yourself a goal. You have to have a goal. You can't just vicariously just go through and maybe it'll happen, you know, you get out, you know, maybe. And then many are called and few are chosen. And everyone in this room is chosen. You are chosen. Now, what you do with your life, because you've been chosen, it's up to you. It's just like when we had that chicken. Now, you can look at the chicken or you can eat it. So you better start, you know, let's get busy. And everybody here is I watched you gentlemen. I watched you gentlemen, a lot of you gentlemen, I watched you evolve. And not only am I just an observer or consultant, oh boy, you all don't know how it's so much life in the spirit in this room that you be like, I got to do your hair, I got to go. You know, I got to get to my group. I got to get to y'all. You know, because it feeds my spirit. It feeds my spirit. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
What you got, son?
Well, for all you ladies, I ain't see on Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all you.
There you go. There you go.
I went to church on Sunday, and the best thing that could have happened to me that happened to me in a long time, me being down for 3 weeks. I went in church for 1 day before I was left out of church with a car. And I'm finna get Thursday. I'm moving my crib Friday, and I start my job making $15 an hour at McDonald's on Hot Rockers Avenue tomorrow. All that, and this finna sound funny to y'all because my female pastor and my male pastor in my church, they my pastors at church, they my landlords in my building. I'm paying $350 for my 1 bedroom, and they my bosses at work.
So we'll see you at church every Sunday.
That's wow! What a story! What a story that is.
Next year we'll be calling them deacons.
I know. And serving cheeseburgers.
Hey, Donald's chicken burger.
Go ahead, son. No, you gotta give us a quick word. You doing all right?
I'm doing good. My wife is good. I have to run, so I haven't been.
Your pre-sentence investigation is going good?
It went good.
It's done?
No, yeah, the pre-sentence, yeah. It said that, the lady said it was just a very stupid misunderstanding that the county does not want to let go because they don't want to they don't want to see themselves as a loser. They don't want to admit that what they did was wrong when the black man trying to make something right. So, and now she's like, I'm just going to just say exactly what I need to say because you haven't committed a crime in 12 years.
That's right.
So what is this whole deal about? So we're going to see how it goes on June 5th. But I haven't been back here for a while because I've been playing soccer a lot. I play for a semi-pro soccer team in the cities, and we practice on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So that's why I've been like about that screaming at me about, yeah, you gonna go to the So today I had to like come in and say hi.
Yeah. We love you, man. Give him some love. Our sister here, say your name again.
Yolanda.
Sister Yolanda is a guest and stuff, and you know, we want to just mess around and give her some time to reflect on anything that you've heard or just whatever, you know, just hey, son, anything you might want to share.
I just want to say that I'm really honored to have heard your stories, and they've had a great impact on me because of the words that you use and the ideas that you expressed and the struggles that you went through. The way you talked about them made it possible for me to identify the struggles in my own life.
Wow.
And really reflect on what type of positions my own ego has put me in. And hearing you be so honest and so vulnerable and really tell your stories in a manner that was reflective for you made me want to be reflective myself and just mirror all of the energy and all of the wisdom that was coming out of you all. I am so unbelievably grateful. So just thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to make sure I get everybody now. Gene, I'm going to come back to you. So Gene, why are you not working, son? Why are you not working?
Well, a lot of it's got to do with restrictions from my PO. I actually turned down quite a few jobs already that I was a perfect fit for, but I can't work in residential homes.
Right, so Gene, so stop beating your head up against that.
Right. So I'm still searching for new construction jobs. I got one supposed to be calling me by the end of the week. I went down and had an interview on Tuesday. I called her yesterday, and she called me back. She said they're still in the first phase of the application process, and that she'll be getting a hold of me by the end of the week. My son's also got, gave me a number. I just called his boss. They're hiring a forklift driver for cross-country freight. So I did that for 9 years.
But I tell you what I want you to do now. I don't want you to stay stuck in this one box. If for whatever reason the key is not opening that door, try another door. Because what I just feel though is that you're going to get frustrated. You keep on trying this door, but you don't get no hits. And that creates frustration. Frustration creates doubt. And doubt says, well, I just want to feel different than I felt last night or before. And you use. I'm just saying to you now, and then now you done threw it all away. You just need to be working for a while. It don't have to be your job of choice. That's that ego stuff that the scripture was just, the thing was just talking about here. Here. That's what it's talking about, and what I'm suggesting to you, this is love, because I don't want to see you sitting in Rush City. I see you sitting right here, and I want you to stay here. Don't be stuck. Come on now. If, you know, these guys got some other options, try something else, because you have to have gainful employment, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just, if it's not fitting for you, doing new construction, do something else. Until you get some time under your belt, until you get a couple of dollars, some checks under your belt. It's always easier to find a job when you have one.
Yeah.
But unemployment is unemployment, and really technically that's a violation. For after a period of time, that's a violation. You got to be employed, right? Right or wrong?
Yeah. Right.
That's hard feedback what I just gave her. Give Gina some love. got love for you, but I just don't want you to slip here, waiting on door number 1. When door number 3 keeps on saying, come over. There go door number 3 standing right there.
I know.
Go ahead.
Door number 3 calls me quite often.
See there?
Yeah, I mean, this young man, I know him very well.
Gene.
Mr. Gene, don't get stuck, because I just had 5 guys got stuck with the same issues at the job. And guess who came and got them? The agent. And they surrounded the premises. You know what I'm saying? Getting stuck. Not getting housing, not getting a job. Well, they had a job, but the housing process. One of the little pop guys was just here, little Justin. Love him to death. I pleaded with his agent, because we had got cool. Just don't, please give us restructuring him 3 times. Right there. Won't get stuck.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Don't get stuck. We're gonna get out of here. Sister, do you have anything? You look so lovely tonight. Oh my God. The councilwoman has showed up. Give oh, hey.
Eli's here too.
Wait a minute. She said, and Eli's here too. Wait a minute.
I done been replaced.
Wait, watch that. Wait a minute, what? You know what? Some people don't know how to play that sidekick role. You know what I'm saying? Look, I tell you what, this is love. Man, sometimes being the sidekick is so cool. Right? But these guys are each other's sidekick.
That's right.
You know, and that's the way it should be. You get it? And you know, when this one's on first, this one's right here on second. She got it. When that one's on first, the other one's right there. So we love that, you know, we're not overlooking anybody, because the work that y'all are doing is amazing and all of this and that. But we're going to mess around here and let Pop go first. Go ahead.
I got like one quick little thing. I know you want to beat it into a dead horse, but when I first got out of the joint, the first job that I got was a telemarketing job. You know, and it wasn't a place where I wanted to see myself permanently, but you know, I had been talking on the phone for nearly 17 years for free. You know, and so like this was a spot that would hire me. You know, I had a murder conviction and all of that stuff, and so I was able to go there, you know, and get that job, and I was able to pay bills, you know, and you know, get because I never had a job before, so that was like my first job too. Right. So I was able to really get situated, get grounded, get into a routine every morning. You know, I made my breakfast, you know, I made my lunch, packed it, you know, got to work. So I got into that routine, you know, and you know, I had all kind of big sites. I had gotten a college degree. I was A+ certified. I was all kind of things. I had all kind of credentials behind my name, but you know, getting that job as a telemarketer, you know, it was what I needed at the time, and it really helped I saw my name in print for the first time with like numbers around it, you know, not some DLC stuff, but it really felt good. And so sometimes, and now you know I'm a field director with ACLU, and you know, I get salaries. I don't even get hourly wages, a salary now, you know. But that was the first job, and I really did appreciate, you know, getting that job and like helping to orient myself. And so sometimes you might have to get a job that, you know, is a little bit beneath your capabilities, but I'm sure you've been around that road before. You just go ahead and got to pull that trigger and just get that job. You said that third door has been knocking. I would say just go ahead and pull that trigger and just get yourself, you know, sustained and situated.
That's good feedback. And you know, also, Eugene, I want you to clean this up now. Clean that up, because you know, just so your presentation is different. Whatever that is, clean up. You know, and then try door number 3, door number 2. Which one, Jigger? Come on now. Come on. Come on now. You got it?
Yes, sir.
You got it?
Got what?
He gonna get it. Go ahead.
Hey, That same you got it energy.
That's right.
I came to be filled. The devil's been just attacking me. My body had a really bad injury. I've been in a lot of pain. Really thankful for Eli, being here and helping me through this. But just some announcements, some updates around, I always come and inform everyone around voter restoration, and me and Eli can probably inform us better on this. But we're going to have a press conference tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Capitol, because we just haven't seen leadership in the House really advocate on this, and this is something that's been on the priorities for DFL for a really long time, and we actually want to see them do something, especially, the excuse for many years have always been, oh, there's not Democratic leadership, that's why things can't get moved, and now here we are, and we're not seeing it follow through in the House. So we are pulling the trigger and going to just really address that in the press conference and make sure, we are advocating on, those who are currently on probation, parole. So that's that. In terms of the campaign, that's still rocking, that's still solid, and I'm gonna need y'all on June 2nd. I'll be sending the email out. We're gonna have our open house where we really could come and see our beautiful headquarters. We're gonna have it decorated and really have a full-fledged schedule of what the door knocks and phone banks and how people can plug in. Also, we're planning a really dope gala.
Black tie affair.
Black tie affair, and obviously, POP always gets top priority for that gala, and you're a group that already did a due diligence of showing your support by coming out and door knocking, also fundraising, that really helps too, so I just want to say thank you. Also keep me in your prayers. This is tough, on so many levels. I'm sure, Pop can attest to this. This is tough when, especially if I'm reading this right now, and if you're someone who have operated in the spiritual world of what brings you joy, what addressing truth and speaking out on just truth across the board of all peoples, of how we have been disenfranchised, and someone who is a child of someone who's been in the system before, as well as a child of a mom who has, been part of the system as well on the outside, and have seen what bad policy does. And, I'm, aiming to be a city council person because I really care, and it's almost the very thing that I care about is a thing that's kind of used against me. Because, in politics, you have to show assurance of caring about democracy, caring about bureaucracy, first. And, there's that saying that you are a politician before you are black. You're a politician before you are an activist or politician, And for myself, a lot of prayer, a lot of reassurance from people, in the community grassroots movement. But I'm really, really excited moving forward and being on the doors and talking with people and really showing, what the community cares about. And we know if we put me against everyone else who's running, they would know without a doubt who's actually going all the way for them. And who actually have the experience, who actually has the will to have the long nights of researching and studying and making sure policy is really connecting to people. It has the ability to build relationships with people too. And I just say, please keep me in your prayers. Just because, within the election, it gets really, starts feeling like a war zone. And, you have to be ready for battle. And I just want to say thank you, for everyone who's been here with me and, and is getting geared up and getting ready, to really hit these doors, really make sure that we are addressing truth and having a new narrative. I think in 2019, this is our time to really speak around, you know, a population who has been cast out, who's been invisible, but yet they bank off of that. They bank off of our exploitation. They bank off of our, like, not being engaged. And I'm just, you know, it's an honor to, you know, have the ability to step forward and who have seen both sides of the curtain and still able to, like, you know, with good faith and goodwill to speak on behalf of the people.
Me myself, I just want to say something personal to you. First of all, I want to apologize to you because you guys had that event that I didn't stay. I couldn't stay. Something came up. And I knew that was an opportunity for me to kind of meet the entire crew of everybody at that moment. But I just wanted to sincerely apologize because you invited me. I said I was coming. Something came up and I had to leave. You don't deserve that. So I just wanted to sincerely apologize for not playing my part.
Well, that's good. Yeah. You know, I think though, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, when you fight hard, when you got your shine on, when you take that licking, but continue to be who he said you was. Listen to this. You are winning. Say, I'm winning.
I'm winning.
And so, you know, others will try to convince you for whatever reasons, ego or other things, that you're not winning. It's because they're not winning. And because they're not winning, they don't want you to feel like you're winning. But the truth of the matter is, when you walk like a winner, and talk like a winner, and behave in a way that winners behave, you are a winner. You already get to vote, and watch this, and I'm going to conclude with this, watch this, and you may be actually running for something altogether different than this race is big enough to hold.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, keep running your race and keep running it correctly, because the multiplier is waiting to see who can I multiply. When the multiplier sees who he or she can multiply, they lie to step you up for 2 or 3 other positions that you wasn't even thinking nothing about, that supersede what you're shooting for right now. And the only reason why you're capable, you're actually applying for those and running for those right now is because you're running like a winner.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know, we just rebuke all sickness and all thoughts of it. You know, just the enemy will try to attack and say this and that is easier for, you know, wait a minute, you got to stand up and show every time, to every time.
Every time.
Yeah, when you don't feel like it, that's the main time to go.
Right. Yes, sir.
Right. Every time. No excuse is good enough for you not to be where you're supposed to be on your post. This is what you're coming in contact with, is what you signed up for. And you actually realize what you signed up for. And it don't feel necessarily like what I prophesied it might be. But now the prophecy and what you signed up for are beginning to meet each other on the battlefield. And now you are fighting not against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places. And to the extent that those principalities are obedient to the word, then wait a minute, what word? The winning word. What way? The winning way. Yeah, and when you walk like that and talk like that and shine like that.
Hallelujah.
You got my vote. There's some old people around here saying, I see a whole lot of people over there saying, that sister. I want to help that sister. Well, wait a minute. They don't have to even know. They see your effort.
Yeah, they do.
Right? And see that we can win it on the ground, you know, by just encouraging people that your vote matters. Come out and make a difference. The devil is a lie. What they said is not true. Right? Now, you know, when I'm telling you the truth, Otherwise, Barack couldn't have been. I didn't even believe it. I mean it. Then I had to mess around and say, wait a minute, this thing is rolling and I'm on the wrong side of the fence. I gotta get out the way here. Because socialization, Curtis, wouldn't allow me, and I was getting his information. Barack.
Right.
He was sending me, if I put money in, so they send me all that stuff. So they sent me a message and said, this was the Obama campaign. They sent me a message the night before Iowa. And he said this. He said, you're going to be surprised when you wake up in the morning and find out that I have won Iowa. And I thought, man, that was nervy.
Oh, right. Big one.
Wait a minute, I said, wait a minute, But wait a minute, so I forgot all about it. Right? The Hillary machine was in play. We ain't mad at Hillary. It's just that she was in the machine. That's what we're talking about. And watch this, what happened to the machine. I'm just trying to say. I'm giving you the history now. The next day, here comes the returns from Iowa. And who steps out as the winner is Barack. And not by a small margin, but by a landslide. Watch this. I say, you know what, brother? You up here, you sleep at the wheel. These young people are moving. And you over here socializing, you're thinking, you better mess around here and get where you're supposed to be. I'm going to tell you this right here. I sent the man $1,000. Now that might not sound like a lot of money to you, but it's a lot of money to me. I sent him $1,000, and this is what I said, well, if you got courage enough to do that, then it won't be because you ain't got no money that you don't get where you got to go.
Come on.
So I'm saying that same thing to you right now. It won't be because you don't have the money, but you have to wrestle against these principalities and cause these things that are not as though they are. This right here propels you supernaturally to get to that winning way.
Come on.
And in that winning way, there's no one in the race right now who can carry your lunch bucket. I'm just telling you the truth. That's right. Sit down one second. And where you got to go to the 180?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to be on time. Now look here. Now you on the right path. You're doing good. Stay there. I'm going to Rush City tomorrow where you work. Right. I'm gonna be reporting on y'all. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say, no, he good. He almost lost it, but he's better now. Right. Say, float on. Float on. Float on. Float on. You gotta float like the floaters, baby. Give him something. Give him something. I got love with y'all. We gotta get out of here. We can't stay in here all night. Shoot.
Nice to meet you. Shoot. I've been hearing all about this.
Yeah, look. Come on, get out of here.
I like this.
I've been hearing all about you. I like that t-shirt you got on.
My family, they African American as well, so. No.
Come on.
The ambulance will be shocking for you. They all started you on North.
Sir, come on, get hooked up. Get hooked up.
Yep, come on, y'all.
Come on.
Back it up.
Gene, come on, get in.
I'm always the last one. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's because you playing that last man ball. You got to play some front man ball. I will. Balance my family values. With my goals. I will. Exercise wisdom. What I choose to eat. Read and do. I will. Strive to make all relationships. All relationships. Win-win. No deal. This is just Anika now. Just Anika. I will. Just Anika. I will. Strive to make all relationships. And associations. Win-win. Or no deal. No deal. Woo! That's right. Woo! I feel something now. My goodness. I will. Under every circumstance. Maintain a positive attitude. I will. Act like a winner. Talk like a winner. Stand like a winner. Reflect the winning ways. Because I am. Somebody need to know. I am. Somebody. Yeah. Now you starting to feel it in here. Now you starting to feel it in here. Yeah, the promise is in here now. Oh, yeah, the promise is in here now. I will. Act upon circumstances. Rather than have them act upon me. Because I'm a bad man and woman. I am. Somebody. I will. On a daily basis. Be proactive with my goals. Some of my goals are lofty and high-minded. That's all right though. Because I'm a winner. I am. Somebody. I am. Somebody. I will always protect my wisdom. Because that's how us winners do. I will always stay principle-centered. Because that's how winners do. I will maintain a positive circle of influence. That's what winners do. I will daily learn. I will commit. And I will take care of my business. Because I'm a winner. That's what winners do. I will. Act according to the POP Leadership Institute. And be productive. In my community. And in my private life. Because I'm a winner. I am. Somebody. All right, well, if you're somebody, then help clean up this table.